up men's rights activist. He brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermaine Buxio.
Hello. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation Weekend Rumble Style. Absolutely. It is Saturday. Let me tell you, last weekend of the month, everybody and their mama still hate Biden. People are locking their doors, grabbing their CC, their conceal and carry, and they're being cautious. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing on this beautiful Saturday morning? We about to get it in, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you share. Absolutely. You know the weekend shows. Absolutely. You know we about to get it in. I'm going to let my hair down. As a matter of fact, I think my hair already down. Yeah, I think my hair down already. So I guess no hair down for me. But besides that, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes down to what's going on right now, I can tell you something. The liberal left has a lot of explaining to do. Our country is in shambles. It really is. The Biden administration is out of control and out of their league, let me tell you. Inflation through the roof. Yesterday, I got done watching a segment with the transportation CEO, one of the transportation CEOs, and what they're saying is that these mandates, the policies from the Biden administration is the reason why the shelves are empty. I want folks to understand this is a self-infliction. It really is. And it's based upon, number one, ideology, because liberals are ideologues. And number two, in my personal opinion, this is planned, right? They have a word out there called plandemic. Well, let me tell you something. There's a plan to destroy the United States of America if you're not opening up your eyes right now. So America needs to wake up, and we need to be strong through these times here, if you know what I mean. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share, all right? Share it to your baby mama. Your baby mama likes me. Share it to her. Share it to your baby daddy. Your baby daddy like me too. Absolutely. Share it to your baby daddy. Share me around like a big woman with tits. Trophy wife. Share me around, ladies and gentlemen. We about to get it in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Let me go ahead and drop this YouTube link here. If you want to join our stream on YouTube, let me tell you something real nice. Yeah, some real nice folks over there. Let me tell you, some real nice folks. Let me go ahead and actually, let me restart this stream here. Facebook is giving me hell. Shout out to Pookie Martinez. Facebook giving me hell. Let me go ahead and restart this stream on Facebook real quick. Facebook been giving me copyrights for some reason. I don't know It started coming out of nowhere. They started last week. I've never received any copyright when I first start my program. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. And then they shut down my stream. And then 30 seconds later, they say, oops, we're sorry. It's the most bizarre thing in the world. And they know they're doing this on purpose. I'm probably one of the last, prominent independent streamers when it comes to conservative content on Facebook. Because let me tell you something, these people are on my nuts. I kid you not. Facebook on my nuts like a bad rash. for real, on my nuts. So it's a crazy, crazy world. Shout out to the folks who are returning on Facebook. Make sure you share. Facebook try to hit me with a copyright for no reason. They don't release the copyright already. But they know that when they do that, it'll kill my stream and people will go elsewhere, right? It will frustrate folks to the point where they just don't want to watch. That's the way they are. Don't let them do that. You hit that like button, you make sure you share. Because that is the only way that we can get the word out. And as you guys know, the technocrats, they're on the hunt. They certainly are. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get rocking. Let's get flaming. Saturday Rumble. Hope you're ready. First one up, ladies and gentlemen. First one up. I want to go ahead here. And let me pull this up here. I want to go ahead here and speak about family, right? Family. As you guys know, I'm probably one of the only conservative podcasts and shows that really speak about family in the real way, right? Not the poo-poo, foo-foo, generic stuff that you hear Glenn Beck talk about or Sean Hannity in passing. I'm talking about what the hell is going on right now in the real world. What's hitting your pocketbooks? What the hell is going on with the children in the culture? They're not speaking about it. They're not at all, which is such a shame. It really is. In this viral video, I'm about to show you two POSs. Single mamas out of control. One thing I speak about on this program is influence from mama. Because it's a big influence in our culture. Usually, nowadays, if you're raised by a single mama, no matter what color you are, usually you're going to pick up traits from your mama. Most of the young single mamas out there, let me tell you something. They're single by choice. They're bratty, ratty, and out of control. And they teach their children to be that like that as well. I want to show you guys a video about two single mamas. One black single mama and one white single mama. This black single mama follows her daughter to the white single mama's house. Apparently, the white single mama's daughter and the black single mama's daughter have some sort of beef. You know how these teenage girls do it, right? You know, for some reason, women right now think they can fight. It's the craziest thing in the world. But they do. And what happened was that this black single mama who, approached the white single mama at her property, assaulted her, and the white single mama stabbed her. Viral video. I want to go ahead and run it. When it comes back, I want to speak about it. Because this is the nonsense that is being taught to our children. People want to know why there's so much violence in the inner city, right? You want to blame guns. You want to blame the teacher. So some people want to say, well, there's not enough mentors, Jermaine, right? That's the dumb side of your talking. The mentors are the gosh darn parents. And nobody is checking the parents. Let me go ahead and run it. When it come back, we definitely going to speak about it. Make sure you share, all right? Make sure you share. Here we go.
She calling the police. She ain't gonna come outside.
Is that her?
What's the problem?
You tell me what the motherfucking problem is.
Are you coming out here on some rah-rah shit? That's what you doing?
You called me that way.
Okay.
You called me that way.
All right.
Hey, how you doing?
Come on out here.
Fine. What's up? What you want to do?
Shit. Nobody talking to you. Between me and your mama.
Don't talk to her. Move back, boy.
Thank you.
Move back. Ain't no mistake.
That's why I called you back and said you should have asked me what
I
the
swear
situation
to God,
was.
turn your ass around. Bitch, don't walk up on me. For real? Don't walk up on me.
Mom?
She stabbed me.
Bitch? Yeah.
You just stabbed me.
What's up?
You just stabbed my mom.
I recorded you, bitch. I recorded you.
What's up? Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Go get her. Let's go get her something.
Move, Blackie. Move, Blackie.
Fuck up in
Leah, watch out.
Move, Blackie.
These ones. She just stabbed her. She stabbed her with a fucking knife, bro.
She stabbed my mom.
She
touched this bitch. On me. You touched my mom, bitch. In my house.
Bro, what street are we on?
We're on 13th and Buckeye.
13th and
Buckeye.
Buckeye.
Hey, Jojo. Yeah.
Move back. She got a knife.
Nah, this bitch is a whole ass fucking crazy ass bitch. She's crazy as fuck. Put the knife down, whore. Put the knife down, bitch. Put it down. Your mom came over here talking shit to her. Period.
Just give me up. I'm leaking.
I know you are.
I'm leaking.
Come on. Come on. Told her to put that fucking knife down. She's crazy as fuck. Get it.
Get back, y'all. Get back, y'all. Get back, y'all.
It ain't even Melissa. That's
Get back,
crazy bitch
y'all.
on your porch.
Get back, y'all.
You bitches came to my house.
And you got my mom.
Was you not talking shit to her? Was you not?
Get in
She don't got messages?
That's not right.
You gotta go into jail, you crazy ass bitch. Hey, go into jail.
I told him stop.
You're 13 minutes.
Stop.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Trying to knock me up.
I'm a person.
Come down here, nigga.
I'm about it.
Get back. Get back.
Back the fuck up.
Hold up, I feel like she's finna.
No. Get back.
So you guys,
Hey, she just stabbed her.
Yeah, I just got her by your motherfucking head.
you catch what's going on. These two mothers are showing what I call new age mother dumb. Motherhood. The new age single mama ain't worth crap. I keep saying this. Prove me wrong. Every day you can see this type of crap. One thing I can tell you about the new age woman, right? The one that I don't like. Attitude through the roof. Right? Attitude through the roof. no respect. I can tell you that. And one thing else, they love to fight, don't they? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? These new age women love to fight. It's something that's in them. The guys know what I'm talking about, right? You'll put two women together nowadays. They're like pit bulls. Pit bulls ready to fight. I kid you not. You put two women together nowadays, they ready to fight. Women will fight on a drop of a hat. Let me tell you. And you know what I'm talking about. Calling each other bitches through the roof. Women don't like each other. They absolutely don't. And when it comes to showing your child the best way to handle a situation, she's the wrong one to do it. Because most women in our day and age will fight just like that. And the reason why they will fight like that is because women, when they fight, they don't go to jail. That's why I'm in big favor of these women going to jail. Tell me I told a lie. Guys know what I'm talking about. Women know what I'm talking about. When women fight, they don't go to jail. So they sit there and talk crap to each other all the time on social media, right? Talking about how you gonna whoop somebody. I'm telling you, I don't make this stuff up. You will hear women say, I'm gonna beat her ass. I'm gonna beat her ass. This is the way women talk. And it's laughable to me. Beat who? This is the new age single mama. The one that says she don't want to marry because it's too expensive. The one that said, yeah, I left him because I wasn't happy. Her. That's her. You can't get around it. Yvonne Garrison said pit bulls have more sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know. But that's what it comes down to. And then you go ahead and teach your children this type of behavior. And how much you want to bet the young girls learn this bratty, ratty behavior from their mamas? I can guarantee you, and I want women to understand, the ones that hate men that say, Jermaine, you always be talking shit about, well, you know, all you do is bash women. Let me tell you something. I bash the guys too, through and through. Let me tell you something. The more attitude you have, the more bratty you are, the more out of control you are, the more masculine you are, the more alone time you will have with your children and yourself. Because one thing I'm going to tell you ladies, and ladies can get mad at me all you want, you can always find a guy to screw you and to dip in your coochie, right? Yeah, you can always find a guy to dip in your coochie. But you can't find a guy to stay with your ass to save your soul. Guys will dip in your coochie, absolutely. When it comes to long-term commitment, being faithful to you, right? Staying there when you need a person, you ain't gonna have him. Because guys, in a sense, no, and a lot of them are dumb, let me tell you. They at least have common sense in that regard. The pump and dump. And I want you ladies to understand. The nicer you are, the more feminine you are. The more you guard your cookies and you take care of yourself and your family, the more men will be crawling up your walls. The men will want to stay. Men ain't dumb. So I want you ladies to understand that. You can find a guy from here to Pakistan to dump in your coochie. But can you find a guy to stay with your bratty ratty ass? That should be a question that you ponder. So I want to go ahead and just point that out there. Shout out to Yvonne Garrett says the truth. And that's the truth. Absolutely. I'm telling you. Pookie says find them, feel them, F them, and forget them. I'm telling you. The guys know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm very honest with the ladies. That's why they come here. I'm not going to BS around with you. If the more masculine you are, the more of a mouth you have, right? And ladies nowadays have a mouth, right? The more like this that's running and out of control, the more F boys you'll find, because the F boy just want to F ya. And you ladies know what I'm talking about. Every time you meet a guy, hey, you know, we're going to take it slow. See, if you're only here for one thing, you know what you ladies talk about, right? Some of y'all put it in your profile. Hey, if you're only here for one thing, you can scroll on, right? Yeah, because that's what happens. Just being honest. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share, all right? Somebody needs to hear this. Somebody needs to hear it and get mad, upset. No, Jermaine, that's not true. What you're saying, Jermaine, is not true, right? Yeah, some of y'all out there probably think like that. That's fine and dandy. I ain't trying to get in your coochie. Good luck. Good luck. Next one up. Let me see. I got a buzz. Bring up my phone here. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to the beautiful Tracy Chandler. Tracy Chandler took our challenge on Cash App. The beautiful Tracy Chandler. Let me go ahead and give her the testimony. Beautiful white man. Shout out to Tracy Chandler. Absolutely. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share, all right? Next one up. I want to go ahead here, ladies and gentlemen, and speak to you guys about a McDonald's fight. Out of control. This was taken in Philly. Now, Philly has a lot of crime right now. I think they're number one in the country for carjacking, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they are. Philly is number one for carjacking. I believe they're number one for dysfunction and bullshit too. I'm thinking Philly, home and crime of home and let me tell you, station for crime. I want to go ahead and show you guys this video here, and when it comes back, I want to speak about it. This video has taken flight for a lot of reasons. For a lot of reasons. Take a look at this. Make sure you share. Here we go.
That's not my own. My niggas right here. We get our food. That's what I'm saying. Hey, well, I need some.
What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think? You know, we're having so many problems like this. It gets to the point where a lot of people are just avoiding fast food. I mean, why the heck would you want to go to a fast food place where people are acting and behaving this way? I want folks to understand, you're at McDonald's. Anywhere Negroes roam who are raised by the mama, you're going to find death and destruction. I don't make this stuff up. And you can see our generation. Our generation is about filming. Look at how everybody there has their cell phone out. Nobody wants to stop the action. Nobody wants to tell the people to stop it. Right? Potentially stop a shooting or a death. They don't want to do it. We have a voyeurism type of a community where people just want to sit there and videotape. They don't want to help. And it really blows my mind. Now, there's some black folks out there, and let me go ahead and address you, because I know you're going to ask, well, Jermaine, well, white people do it too. Let me talk to you. Well, white people do it too, niggas out there. Let me talk to you for a quick second here. Because with all the videos that are out there, and let me tell you, there's a lot of videos that are out there. One thing you don't see is abundance of white people beating on each other like this in public places where people are eating. You don't. I don't see Asian folks fighting like this. I don't see Latino folks fighting like this. Yes, you niggas out there. I don't see it. I don't see Apu and them fighting like this. Chun-Li and them ain't fighting like this. As a matter of fact, I don't even see rabid dogs fighting like this. But the one thing I do see is these black folks fighting like this, and you can find them fighting everywhere they congregate. More than 3, please believe you must flee. Absolutely. More than 3, please believe you must flee. You must flee. It's crazy to me that nobody is talking about this violence. This is the same violence I point out when you see single mamas fighting in front of their children, not giving a rip about them. This is what single mamas provide. Adults who ain't worth a damn. Fighting in the gosh darn place like this. Like a Christmas jamboree. It's out of control, ladies and gentlemen. It's out of control. They learn this behavioral trait from their environment and growing up. And the person that programs them is their mama. I want folks to understand that. Black Americans have a very, very violent culture. And if you speak about it, there's some white liberal out there who ain't worth a damn, who's quick to raise his hand and tell you how racist you are. Because he don't want you to use common sense when you see niggas like this fighting in front of you, destroying your property. They want black folks like this, animalistic, out of control. I want people to understand. They want black folks animalistic and out of control. So that's why you will see the censorship. You will see these folks come after the truth tellers because they don't want this information out there. They want you to believe that this is a part of white supremacy. There's people out there, buffoons, like Michael Eric Dyson, Mark Lamont Hill, right? The Reverend Jesse Jackson, or the snitch, federal snitch, Al Sharpton, right? You know what they'll say? They'll say that this is post-traumatic slavery syndrome. Let that sink in. They'll say that this behavior is post-traumatic slavery syndrome. Blacks fighting like hyenas, scratching at each other. Rawr, rawr, hold on. Rawr, right? Like two T-Rexes. Clawing out their eyes. They want folks to believe it's because black folks went through slavery back in the past. It's the reason why they're so animalistic now. What a crock, let me tell you. What a crock. And this is the nonsense that's going on. That's why we have to be honest about what we put out. We have to be. Because there's people out there who want to subvert the truth through lies and emotion. And it's not right. It's not right at all. So I want folks to see that. And I know there's going to be, idiots and buffoons out there. Hey, Jermaine, white people do it too, right? I know y'all. Every time somebody makes a point, right, there's some black idiot out there with no sense at all, raising their ashy hand, saying, hey, Jermaine, I know what you said is, is quite valid, but I just want you to let you know, like, white people do it too. Ridiculous. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. All right? I'm going to need your help. I'm definitely going to need your help. Definitely going to need your help. Another one on our crime list here. I want to go ahead and show you guys a viral video that was taken on Ring. It's about some Chicago goons who try to shoot at some gang members on a porch. I want you guys to see the stuff that happens every day in the inner city. Here in Minneapolis, this type of nonsense happens all the time. I want you guys to see this. Young black Americans shooting at each other in residential areas. Out of control. Police nowhere to be seen. By the time the police get there, guess what? The Negroes are gone. We have a huge problem. And one of the problems is that our politicians aren't recognizing that a lot of these shootings are coming from the gangs. I was probably one of the first ones to point this out. And it will continue to go on unless we have politicians ready to stand up and go to war against these gangs. Because they're killing innocent bystanders. They're killing civilians. And people are scared. Take a look at this. Chicago, out of control. Take a look.
Oh my God. Oh my baby. Oh my God.
look at this guy right here. Here's the guy who's about to get violated in his gang for ducking and running. This guy will probably get a couple stars in his gang here. Take a look.
Oh my God. Oh my baby. Oh my God.
Off the porch is what they call it. Off the porch. This happens all the time in the inner city. All the time. Black Americans shooting at each other like crazy. You niggas out there, let me tell you something. Find me a video of white folks shooting at each other like rabid dogs in the street. I bet you can't find it. I bet ya. But you can find videos like this all the time. Shooting at each other and not caring who's around. Bullets could have flew and hit anybody. Anybody, ladies and gentlemen. And we just got done speaking with Mr. Jamal about an 8-year-old who got shot in the head in Chicago. Right? They moved her funeral, I think, to Mexico or some country. I think Guatemala or Mexico, one of the two. Young girl, 8 years old, walking in the street with her family, killed, bullet through the head. And it's because of this type of nonsense. It is. Now, you see how this guy here, let me go ahead and turn down the volume here. You see how this guy with the squiggles in his hair got down and ran? This is the normal gang member right there. The normal gang member is a pussy. The normal gang member is a pussy like his mama. On the ground, humping the ground, while this other guy takes off. Now, one thing I do know about gangology, right? Because I used to be a correctional officer. You have to know things about gangs. One thing I do know, this guy on the floor here, he will be violated. This is a violation in a gang. If you're with your homies, you're with your partner, the opposition or a rival gang comes and shoots at you, you are supposed to shoot back. You're not supposed to duck and go underneath a gosh darn bench. So this gang member right here, he will be violated. In a violation, he may be killed. He may be killed. The guy that got off the porch, who fired at those guys, who ran in the street and shot at those guys, he will be applauded. He'll probably move up in rank in the gang. That's how it works. Gangs are very ruthless. I want folks to understand. Gangs are really ruthless. It's killers of the killers. Do you understand? I don't think people understand how ruthless a gang is. Very ruthless. I want people to think about gangs like demons. Gang members will kill other their fellow gang members to rise in rank. They will purposely make up fake stuff to violate other gang members so that they can rise in rank. Being in a gang is like being in a group of demons who are clawing and beating up each other to get to the top. And the most top person, right? The person who runs it is the most ruthless. The person who will kill in a heartbeat. The person who will fight in a heartbeat. To join gangs now, that you have to be that ruthless. That's why they call them demons. You can hear the young black, your young black kids rapping about it. Right? I'm with my demons. I'm with my slimes. I'm with my gremlins. Because to join them, you have to be that evil. A lot of people believe that when you hear a lot of this rap music and they're talking about shooting and killing, oh, Jermaine, that's just part of it. You know, rent. I want you to understand that it's not just part of it. It's what they do. To be a rapper, you want to be authentic. You don't want to be what they call a studio gangster. So you're going to rap about stuff you do. That's why when you hear rappers nowadays, they're always going in and out of jail. Because their street cred mean more than anything. Because the people who buy rap, they want the authentic nigga. The one that says F white folks. The one that's shooting at police. They want them. They don't want a studio gangster lying about the stuff they're doing. That doesn't sell because the other Negroes in the industry will point you out for it. So the industry is filled with gang members who want authenticity. So I want white Americans to understand when you hear them saying shooting and killing, that's what they mean. That's what they're doing. And why would we as a society allow music to be out there like that? Doesn't make any sense. And that music, ladies and gentlemen, influences the young generation to do this once more again before we move on. They influence them to be shooting and killing each other like dogs in the street.
Oh my God. Oh my baby. Oh my God.
Like dogs in the street. Like dogs in the street. You can't get around it. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Shout out to Steven Miles. Says the demons controlling music industry are pushing this shit rap music to tear it all down. Planned combustion of the white Satan worshipers on the absolutely. Absolutely. They're controlling it. For you to even be a rapper nowadays, you need to speak about shooting and killing. Screwing somebody's mother and all that. I mean, that's the only thing that they want. And what's so crazy to me is that the politicians haven't figured out what I figured out a very long time ago. Gangs in this country, the national gangs, the Crips, the Bloods, the GDs, right? Gangster disciples. They are making buku money off of rap. They found their legitimate hustle. I want folks to understand that. They found their hustle. And the thing is, the gangs are using the young kids as mules. Do you understand? If you're a gang and you have people who rap, right, you could create a legitimate business. That's what the gangs are doing. So when they rap, they get paid by these labels, these entertainment companies. And then they also money launder all the dope they've been selling as well, right? The guns and the dope they're selling. It's a very profitable business. Very profitable. And the thing is, they're getting powerful and rich off of it. The politicians got to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if they're not jumping on this right now. Because if they were to outlaw gangs from creating legitimate businesses in the music entertainment industry, it would cut down on a lot of the BS you're seeing. A lot of it. But we're not. China doesn't even allow rap music in their country because they say of how damaging it is. And they ain't lying. America allows this type of stuff. And a whole host of other nonsense as well. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead here and give a shout out to my girl, Melinda Peace. Melinda Peace took our $5 challenge on PayPal. Melinda Peace. Shout out to Melinda Peace. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead here, ladies and gentlemen, and speak about 3 Texas teens. 3 Texas teens beat their stepfather to death for allegedly sexually assaulting their half-sister. This is a crazy case here. They also have a GoFundMe that is up. They are locked up right now. There's a national outcry for the boys to be released. I want to go ahead and run this story. When it come back, I want to speak about it. Because there's a special place in hell for what we call child molesters. Very special place in hell. And I'm in an agreement when it comes to what I call absolute justice. This right here needs to be absolute justice. Take a look. Make sure you share.
Teens over in the Rio Grande Valley, they are now charged with murder. This is for killing a man that they say police wouldn't do anything about, despite already having warrants for his arrest. Are they cold-blooded killers, or were their actions justified in defense of their little sister? Jonathan Martin making the case with attorney Charles Adams.
Capital murder because Quintanilla was kidnapped, right, when he was taken in the back of the F-150 and dropped off somewhere else.
The story of 2 teen brothers in South Texas arrested for beating their stepfather to death for allegedly sexually abusing their half-sister has a lot of people talking. They were apparently so enraged at their stepfather, Gabriel Quintanilla, they, along with their friend, confronted him at a home, beat him before attacking him 2 more times at another location, reportedly with brass knuckles, then dumping his body in a field where he was found dead. Clearly a crime, but was it justified?
And as in, if you are the defense attorney in this situation, what you're arguing is that there are these mitigating circumstances, the rape of their very young, small child, little sister, by their evil stepfather.
Quintanilla did have a warrant out for continual sexual abuse of another child. I asked attorney Charles Adams if that history could help a defense.
Well, certainly it bolsters the perception that he was rightfully accused, right? Because it was a different victim. So now you have 2 young children claiming that they were sexually assaulted by this man, right? And if these 2 brothers and the friend were aware, I think it provides a rationale, a justification that a lot of people can understand.
But the teens are facing serious charges, including murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. While some might understand their motivation, others argue killing someone in a situation like this is never okay. But what might a jury say? Charles says while a long shot, a jury nullification argument might be the best option for a defense.
Where you as a lawyer look at the jury and say, hey, we understand that this meets the elements, but we're asking you to find them not guilty anyway, because no one I don't think there's anyone in America that can't sympathize with two brothers acting the way they did in response to someone who had violently raped their little sister.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. What do you got to think about it? What do you got to think? The two brothers and a friend went and whooped his ass. I mean, whooped his ass, beat him to death, dumped his body in a field. Now, there is history of the stepfather abusing the stepsister. The boys have made police reports. And even the stepfather, I think he might have had he was on either probation or had a warrant, one or two. One thing I can tell you about this, besides it being gruesome and a little bit crazy, his death to a lot of people is warranted. It's warranted. I don't know how many people out there, especially men, who would allow a man to get away with abusing, sexually molesting, or assaulting their child or sister. I don't know many men that would. I don't know many men that would, to tell you the truth. Now, I understand the argument that's out there, right? Hey, well, you can't take the law into your own hands. You know, you should have called the police. You know, all the hoopla, right? I understand that. But let me tell you something. In a real world, that's not always the best option. It's not. In a real world, this type of behavior will get you killed. Will get you killed. You go and damage a young girl for life. And I want people to understand what these sexual molesters are doing. They are damaging a young girl for life. They are fracturing her soul. Let me go ahead and put it into a spiritual sense for you, right? Besides all the physical stuff. The man is fracturing her soul. Some of you guys out there don't believe in spirits. Some of you guys don't believe in demons, right? Psychological, unembodied thought forms, right? I do. I believe in them. I certainly do. And one thing that happens when you traumatize a kid early like this, you fracture their soul. And what happens is, with all the trauma inside of them, their soul has a opening, right? For people out there in the spiritual community, we talk about auras, right? Yeah, some people can see auras out there, right? I can see auras, which is kind of crazy. Some people can see auras out there. And it has a little break in your aura. And what happens is, with the distress inside your body, all the emotions that are coming out, right, psychically, you attract negativity because you're so hurt because you've been traumatized to the point where your soul fractures, right? Your brain just can't take it. You give up your will. It brings your vibration very low. And it attracts negative spirits to you. They're not going to speak about this in psychology. They don't want to speak about this, but it happens. And these negative, let's call them entities, right? Ghost spirits attached to you. And what happens is you go through life and these things impede on your thoughts. They take over in certain actions. They ruin your life. I want people to understand this, right? That's the way I broke it down for people to understand. So when you see this type of behavior, it's more than just the physical aspect there. There's a psychological and then there's a spiritual aspect. And without forgiveness, the person forgiving their abuser, praying to God for help, right? That person will be suffering for the rest of their life. And you know what I'm talking about. The people that have been abused sexually, they never get over it. It's a demon that's always haunting them. They always are depressed, right? They're broken people who cannot function in life. I want people to understand this. So when the boys sat there and whooped his ass and killed him, that's something that I call absolute justice. It's something that needed to happen. It's something that needed to happen because there's no amount of punishment that will restore the person's will, sanity, and soul. Do you understand? So this case here, in my personal opinion, is a very important case. And this is my personal opinion, I want the boys out. Because if it was me, I would have killed his ass too. I know if it was some of you men out there, you would have killed and roasted his ass too. Things of this nature, ladies and gentlemen, deserve a certain punishment. And let me tell you something, the punishment he got was very fitting. Very, very fitting. So I want to go ahead and point that out there. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you share, all right? That is the only way we can get seen here. The only way. And as you guys know, these folks absolutely hate us. They don't want us giving you guys the truth. They don't. I want to go ahead here and give a shout out to Thomas Williams. Shout out to Thomas Williams. Says, there's a special place in hell for those chomos. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Let me give you the customaries. There's a special place in hell. Absolutely. Before they reach hell, they got to get their ass whooped. We whoop them to hell. That's what we do. We whoop their ass to hell. And then when they're in hell, they can get their ass whooped there too. Let's go ahead and move forward. Next one up. I want to speak about a story that Don Lemon put out. It deals with a teen that apparently says he was taunted with racist remarks at his basketball game. All right. I want to go ahead and run a little bit of this, and when I come back, I want to speak about it. Don Lemon and the liberals all day long look for blacks who have some sort of gripe. Put them on TV for them to talk about fake racism. How come we don't have whites bringing other white folks on TV so that we can speak about how blacks were racist towards them, how blacks discriminated towards them? CNN can go to hell. They can certainly go to hell. Take a look at this. Here we go.
Mekhi, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. The morning after your game, it was at Laguna Hills High School. You're watching the game footage, like you always do, and then you heard some awful things from that crowd. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, I was just watching the game film after. I watched it, and I was just, every time I touched the ball or anything happened, it was just constant them saying something. I was shocked at first. I ran into my parents' room, look at this. But the more it settled in, it really isn't that surprising that it occurred. There's plenty of other accounts from other people, and it's not just Orange County or California. It's all across the country with black athletes, just in general, just society. It happens a lot. But there's a fine line between jokes or where it's just blatant racism. So, yeah. I mean, it was a lot to take in.
There's a difference between talking smack, right, saying get him, that sort of thing, and you would expect that during any athletic event. Mom, the student that made these comments has been disciplined. It's so terrible to hear someone talk about your son like that. So what do you think? What do you say? What did you say to Mekhi?
He said, "Can you believe it?" And I said, "Yes." And we were shocked. We were surprised, but at the same time, we were not. And what do you say? We were speechless. That we didn't really have a whole lot to say at that moment. But of course, I said, let's record this and send it to your coach and find out if who knows about this and what can be done.
Terrell, I understand that in addition to these racist attacks from the student, you had an issue with the Laguna Hills basketball coach. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a typical basketball game. I feel like it's a typical basketball game. I remember me and my wife walked in, it was like kind of a hostile environment, but sometimes that could be fun. But as the game went on, you start noticing Mekhi was, they're getting really chippy with him, but he's, taking it like a man and continuing to play on. Late in the third quarter, kid bumped him, gave him another cheap shot. Mekhi's kind of pleading this case to the ref. And while he's pleading this case to the ref, the coach from the other team is what I consider as antagonizing him. And so, I want to just get close enough to the coach and say, hey, don't talk to my son. Don't talk to my son. And at that point, the assistant coach on the sideline, looks at me and he tells me to shut up. He's like, meet me outside. And, I think like what any probably real father would do, I probably had some choice words from him. And they asked me to leave the game, which I politely obliged and left the game. And, the next morning we wake up and Mekhi brings us the video. And I tell my wife, you're like, you know what? We weren't reading the room wrong. Mm-hmm. I think everything that we felt while we were in there is validated by this video. I think they just have a culture problem.
A culture problem.
Well, Mekhi, you're close to, do you think that there's a culture problem? Have you felt any issues? You're the only black player on the team, am I correct?
Yes. Oh. I have felt that there's a culture problem. This wasn't the first time that there was an issue when we played there. It was last year. There was another issue with apparently another parent kept making some sort of remark towards me. And then even there's plenty of people talking to me, telling me that different accounts of, oh, when we went there, this happened, or when we played there, someone said this to me. Even people at that school are saying that there's issues within the administration.
So the dad is a beta. The dad is a beta. This is what's going on in our country. Weakness. I'm tired of black folks complaining. Shout out to Eat All, Save None for Later. I'm sick of black whining people. Black people are winos. Everywhere you go, you're whining. Black folks are like mosquitoes and gnats, buzzing around ya, making up stuff. So the heck what they taunted you as a basketball game. I'm so sick and tired of black people crying. You think you're the only one that got to deal with shit? White folks got to deal with racism too. From you Negroes. Asians got to deal with racism. From you Negroes. This is up. Let me bring down my rage. Bring down my blood pressure. This is out freaking rageous. Instead of the father, and the father got to be raised by his mama. Instead of the father to say, you know what, son? Chuck it up. Things like this are going to happen. Right? We can't control everybody. The only person you can control is yourself. You make sure you play hard and you show them up. That's what a father does. A father don't sit there and cry and say, hey, you guys are being mean to my son. You call him all sorts of names and stuff like that and call him gay slurs and racist names. I can't believe it. You don't do that. This is outrageous. You know how many times Michael Jordan got called the N-word when he played? Through the roof. And guess what? Top player. You don't hear Michael Jordan crying about racism. And Michael Jordan, he was in a different time. And there were a lot more, how can I say, mouthy with their words than they are now. These people here, ladies and gentlemen, in my personal opinion, are blowing this out of proportion. They are looking for what we call a lottery ticket. That's what they're looking for. A lottery ticket. And you can go ahead and see how evil they look. You see, nobody's smiling here. Look at. I don't even know if this is the mom. Whoever this is, got a face that will turn your face to stone. Let me tell you. Look at her. And then, of course, every black young man got squiggles in his hair. Your father allowed it. He probably raised by his mama. Look at the attorney in the back, right? Look like a demon too. These people look like they're lying. Including straining toilet face Lemon. You know, Don Lemon looked like he's straining on a toilet. You know, he's constipated. Look at him. More fiber, Don Lemon. You got to take more fiber. It will release that constipation you have. Look at him. Face look like he's straining on a toilet. These people are lying, ladies and gentlemen. These people are lying. I don't believe them not one bit. They don't look genuine. The story sound cockamamie. It does. And the fact of the matter is that they're sitting over here running this game. Black folks, you deserve to be ashamed of yourself. Everywhere you go, you're complaining. I mean, black folks are complainers. Everywhere they go. Outrageous. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I need you guys to share. Need you to share. I want to speak about Neil Young and Spotify. So as you guys know, Spotify is a very large music distribution app. Let me tell you, very large. They have Joe Rogan's podcast on there. Neil Young, he's a rocker, says that he will take all his music off Spotify if they don't get rid of Joe Rogan. This is what he's saying. Spotify took Neil Young's stuff all the way off. They removed him off Spotify. Neil Young lost because he wanted to be woke. In this day and age, we got people who ain't important trying to make themselves important. Neil Young, nobody gives a rip about you. Nobody does. Nobody. Hold on, let me say this. Nobody. And you think that you saying this is going to somehow deter folks from not listening to Joe Rogan? I don't think anybody under 40 knows who you are. Nobody. When you go woke, you go broke. Apparently, Spotify was 60% of the man's income. Good luck. Take a look at this.
And now to an upheaval in music streaming. Legendary singer-songwriter Neil Young is pulling his music from Spotify because the streaming service continues to give a platform to podcaster Joe Rogan, who has been accused of spreading misinformation about COVID. So here's a closer look by the numbers. Neil Young says Spotify accounts for 60% of his music streamed worldwide, and that his split from the platform will be a huge loss for his record company. But he's sticking to his guns. And Spotify also isn't budging. They are defending their policies. They say they've removed over 20,000 podcast episodes related to COVID-19 that cause harm or pose direct threat to public health. Still, they've kept comedian and actor Joe Rogan, who has the #1 most popular show on Spotify. His podcast deal with Spotify reportedly worth $100 million. And Spotify's platform is enormous. They have 318 million monthly listeners worldwide, and that includes 172 million who pay for subscriptions, and that's according to the company financials. But Neil Young, he has some sway as well, and some think that other artists might follow his lead. Over a 60-year career, the rock legend really has a few too many accolades to name, but he's a 2-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, once as a solo artist and again as a member of Buffalo Springfield.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for...
George Stephanopoulos, part of the Luciferian Club. What do you guys think about this? Neil Young. Neil Young gone. 60% of his income. Very big revenue. Gone because he wanted to be woke. Right now, I bet you he's crying. Crying. He thought that he would be the one to take Joe Rogan down. He thought that people cared about him like that. Nobody cares about him like that. Nobody. In this day and age, you're seeing people who are trying to get a name for themselves. You see them. People you haven't heard from for years, decades, all of a sudden coming out of the woodworks. Hey, if you don't do this, I'm going to take my stuff off. Let me tell you, if you're not relevant right now, nobody's going to give a rip. Nobody. If you're not relevant right now, they're not going to give a rip. I don't know who was in Neil Young's corner who allowed him to run his mouth like this and screw up his business. Somebody's right now hitting him up and saying how dumb he is. You got to be dumb and cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs to do this. When you go woke, you go broke. That's what's going on. Because people are tired of this woke shit. They're tired of the lies, all the being woke, ladies and gentlemen, is you believing in stuff that ain't real. Gender inclusivity and all sorts of dumb shit. Nobody cares about that. Nobody who's out in the real world, who works with their two hands, cares about this stuff. Only the idiots do. So, Neil Young, good riddance. And the people like him, good riddance. People want the truth. They want people to be authentic and real. They're tired of the woke shit. They're tired of what I call false compassion. People who appear to care, but they really don't. Remember I told you that, ladies and gentlemen. That's something that the Democrats do very well. Because they know most of the population is raised by their mama. They know most of the population, men and women, both think, act, and feel like a woman. They have a female trait in their mentality. They are emotionally centered, right? They wear their heart on their sleeve, if you know what I mean, right? They live in the world through their emotion. People like myself, when I receive information, I logically think about it. I don't add any emotion to it. Them, when you tell them something, they want to know how it makes them feel first, right? How's the information making them feel? And then, ladies and gentlemen, if it makes them feel bad or icky, their weak-ass logic come in and it says, well, this ain't good. This ain't true. That's the way the world is right now. They have trained people to use emotion first. Remember I told you how people think, right? How you're supposed to think, right? Remember image, then words, and then at the end you attach emotion. In a liberal's mindset, it is the emotion, image, and then the words that supposed to be logic. That's when that comes through and it's all garbly-gook because they allow that emotion to come forward. Remember, emotion is what makes your reality. I want folks to understand that. That's why I spend time speaking about how the conscious works, how people interpret reality, because you have to understand that to understand what the hell is going on out here. So remember, they use emotion, then the image, and then the words. Conservatives, we think differently, right? We think through our left side of our brain, right? Yeah. So it'll be the image, and then the words, which is the logic. And then we attach the emotion, right? And the emotion defines what reality means for us when it comes to, what is being presented in front of our face. I want people to truly understand that. Because without understanding that, you will never understand the hell that is being presented right now. It's very important. Very important. That's why I spend time speaking about this. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give somebody a shout out here. I want to go ahead here and give a shout out to my guy, John Lennon. John Lennon says, we have to ask ourselves how many times they say the N-word in their own house. Is it perfectly fine as long as no others use the word? Absolutely. They use it all the time. Those black folks use the N-word all the time. They say nigga through the roof. I can guarantee you, right? I would venture to say 98% of blacks in this country use the N-word. I would venture to say that. Absolutely. If a black person says that I've never used the N-word in their life, they a gosh darn lie. They a gosh darn lie. Even Barack Obama said the N-word on some sort of podcast. We reported on it when he was in office. So I want people to understand that. Understand, 98% of blacks, your favorite entertainer, Bill Cosby, if they use the N-word, they absolutely do. Shout out to my guy John Lennon. Absolutely they do. Next one up. I want to speak about Biden. Mr. Magoo. For the last 2 days, besides talking about you, tell you something, they've been talking about a gosh darn pussy. Yeah. They've been talking about a pussy cat. I want folks to understand that. Talking about a pussy cat. A pussy cat. Absolutely. And this cat here, I think they're calling this cat Willow. Yeah, they're calling this cat Willow. New animal in the White House. I want you guys to take a look at this. When it come back, I want to speak about it. I believe this is another distraction. Instead of them speaking about the real stuff that is going on, they're wasting their time speaking about a gosh darn kitty. I want you guys to take a look at this. This is the Biden administration. This is our country. Wasting our time speaking about kitty cats. Take a look.
A family matter, or should I say, a feline matter. It's something that I actually talked about with the First Lady last April. The first family was considering adopting a cat.
Oh, yes, and that is true.
Can you confirm that?
He's waiting in the wings. She is waiting in the wings.
Was this your idea, Mr. President?
No, but it's easy.
Well, the cat's out of the bag. Meet Willow Biden. The 2-year-old striped tabby has just moved into the White House. She's named for the First Lady's hometown of Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. And while we're used to people fighting like cats and dogs in Washington, there's been no official comment on the addition from First Pup, Commander.
So the media, liberals have been running this cat story, right? This, apparently there's some new pussy around the White House. Yeah, you see the way they treat pussies in the White House? Absolutely. Man, I'm telling you. Treat the pussy better than most Americans in this country. This is the nonsense you're seeing here. Wasting, reporting power, wasting time, speaking about a pussy cat. Now, I don't have nothing against cats. I like cats. My first pet was a cat. American short-haired cat by the name of JR. I love that cat. Gray and black, stripes. Beautiful American short hair, let me tell you. Beautiful pussy, let me tell you. Used to rub that pussy every night. Let me tell you. Very, very good kitty. So I ain't got nothing, I don't got any, vendettas or anything against cats. But I got something against Mr. Magoo. This foo-foo reporting that they're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is really pissing off a lot of folks. We got deputies who are killed by illegal aliens, right? We got people who are dying from fentanyl because it's being shipped through the border there. We have illegal aliens being shipped around, but yet the Biden administration, the media, is focused on some pussy. Let me tell you, it blows my mind. That is the world we're living in. We get foo-foo reporting on the important stuff, and then they spend time showing us pussycats. Crazy. Shout out to John Lennon. It says Biden seems really young. Biden seems to really like young pussy. Absolutely. Yeah, shoot. He likes feline pussy and another kitty. Yeah. Absolutely. I bet Biden rubbing that pussy all night. Let me stop. Absolutely. Don't you like Saturdays? Don't you like Saturdays? I told you, Weekend Rumble. I'm going to let my hair down. Or I don't have any hair at all. So you know it. We getting downright dirty. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Share for a brother. All right? Absolutely. Shout out to Frank Williams. He says, I love me some cat too. Yeah, everybody like themselves a little pussy. Shout out to Yvonne Garrett. Says, yes, ladies and gentlemen, meet Jamar Quavius, the new White House cat. Absolutely. Jamar Quavius running around. He's a real alley cat. I'm telling you, you see what young pussy can do? Young pussy in the White House, 2 years old. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak about Mike Pence. Jesse Waters has a new show on Fox. I believe Fox picked them to do a primetime show. I think he's a couple episodes into his show. I caught his show in the beginning. I don't know. I'm just not a huge Jesse Waters fan. Not at all. But that's just me. It's my personal preference there. I happened to catch his show the other night. And I was really thrown back by his show. It seemed like, Jesse Waters went the establishment route. In the show, he spoke about Mike Pence. Damn near even caping for Mike Pence in the show. At the end, he ends with, you might be seeing Mike Pence rolling through your neighborhood. I mean, it just blows my mind. He was giving Mike Pence a shout out and a campaign shout out for you guys to be looking out for Mike Pence. Make America Great movement. Most conservatives don't want Mike Pence. So it blew my mind that he'd have Mike Pence on there and then promote his campaign. I don't think they even had President Trump on there. So Jesse Waters, I don't know with him. I mean I don't like him, but the fact that he was put on prime time, and then he's backing Mike Pence, he's doing that. It really blew my mind. It really did. I want to go ahead and show you guys this here. This is Mike Pence on with Jesse Waters. Mike Pence grades his successor, Kamala Harris. I want to go ahead and run it. When it come back, I want to speak about it. Make sure you share. Here we go.
Border czar Kamala Harris is in Honduras today to attend the inauguration of the newly elected President Castro, who's a socialist, and will probably steal all the money we send him while he keeps sending us caravans.
Most people don't want to leave home. If they leave, it is usually because they are either fleeing harm or they simply cannot satisfy their basic needs. The area of cooperation and work that we will do together on economic prosperity will be pivotal to that issue, in particular of irregular migration.
Former Vice President Mike Pence joins me now. Good to see you, Mr. Vice President.
Great to see you, Jesse. Congratulations on the new show. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much. We're very excited. So when you did the handoff with Kamala Harris during the inauguration, I'm sure you gave her some very sweet personal advice. Do you think she's taken your advice? I mean, what did you tell her? Did you tell her to go find out root causes?
Well, look, that's an old mantra of back in the days of the Obama-Biden administration was that the problem of illegal immigration was driven by root causes. I really wasn't that surprised when she skipped over the border and started to talk about root causes. And look, she's down in Honduras. The new president, she's a socialist. But, frankly, Jesse, I'm more concerned about the socialists she's associating with here in Washington, D.C. than I am in the Northern Triangle. The reality is this administration unleashed the worst border crisis in American history because on day one, President Biden undid the policies that President Trump put into effect that reduced illegal immigration by 90%. That Remain in Mexico policy, as you know, Jesse, was working. We built hundreds of miles of border wall. This administration stopped construction on the wall. They've left massive gaps in the wall. But really, by undoing the policies and focusing on economic development in Central America is a prescription for more of what we saw last year. 2 million illegal immigrants coming across our border. December was the highest month in history. The Biden-Harris administration is failing the American people at our southern border, failing on our economy, and frankly, failing the country at home and abroad.
Well, they're failing in the cities, too. This crime is out of control. You remember Joe Biden. He was never like this before. He was pretty pro-law and order, supported the police officers. What do you think's changed with Joe Biden?
Well, I've said as I've traveled around the country over the last year that, Joe Biden won his party's nomination, but Bernie Sanders won the party. And the truth of the matter is that the politics of the socialist left are in the saddle in the Democratic Congress. Look, I served in the House of Representatives back in the day with Bernie Sanders. He is a straight-up, unreconstructed European-style socialist, and the politics of the left, including all the politics of defund the police, are driving this administration. And frankly, again, as I've spent the last year, we moved back home to Indiana, but I've spent a lot of time moving around. I get to spend a lot of time with members of law enforcement in cities around the country. And I got to tell you, their hearts are broken by what they're seeing happening.
You mentioned driving. That's expensive now. You fill up, it's an extra $20 every time you go do it.
Right.
I know when you get to Washington or you're in the White House or at the Capitol, everybody drives you around. You have chefs taking care of all your needs, your food. So you're not really connected to the purchasing lifestyle of the American public. Would you suggest Joe Biden and Kamala Harris maybe leave the White House, maybe go to a gas station, go to a grocery store, and maybe see for their own eyes how pricey things have gotten?
Well, one of the advantages of no longer being vice president is I get to drive my own car. One of the disadvantages is I get to pay for my own gas.
What are you driving these days, Mr. Vice President?
I got to tell you, I'm driving a Ford, and I'm currently in the market for a truck. But I got to tell you, the gasoline prices are like nothing I have ever seen. But again, once again, it's the result of the policies of the Biden-Harris administration. We had achieved energy independence for the first time in 70 years by unleashing American energy as never before. And energy prices were low across the board from day one. I mean, think about this, Jesse, that here's an administration, one of the first things they do is shut down an American pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline, and authorize the construction of a Russian pipeline to Germany. To make Germany and Europe more dependent on Russian natural gas. The policies of this administration are, I want to say that they make no sense, but frankly, they do make sense to the radical left.
When's the last time you talked to former President Trump? You guys good?
We talked last summer, and I've said many times
last summer, let me
it was
stop
difficult. January 6th was difficult.
I want folks to understand. Let me stop it right here. I'm gonna let it play through. Jesse Water, I want to rewind it back. I want you guys to take a look at the way Mike Pence answered this question, because you could tell the man is telling a lie. They ain't cool. That ain't cool. I want to go ahead and rewind it just back. Right here.
They make no sense, but frankly, they do make sense to the radical left.
When's the last time you talked to former President Trump? You guys good?
We talked last summer, and I've said many times we
talked last summer. Your talk last summer. Y'all ain't cool. I could tell you that. Y'all ain't cool. I don't give a rip what you're saying. Y'all ain't cool. You spoke to President Trump last summer. Y'all ain't cool. And then look at all the sighing he's doing. He does a deep sigh before he starts talking. The deep sigh is him knowing that he ain't cool with President Trump, so he's making up a lie. Going back just a little bit, once more again, because I want people to see this.
Radical left.
When's the last time you talked to former President Trump? You guys good?
We talked last summer, and I've said many times it was difficult. January 6th was difficult. It was a tragic day in the life of the nation. I know I did.
Yeah, it's difficult when you're a snake, when you're a Judas. It's difficult when you don't have your right-hand man's back. It is difficult when you're running around being a traitor. It's difficult when you're not playing on the same team. Yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult being a rat. You know, I don't make no qualms about it. It's difficult being a rat because you a rat. That's what you are. Black folks will call you a rat. Going for it.
Did my duty under the Constitution of the United States, but the president and I sat down in the days that followed that.
Let me go back. You heard how he tried to justify what he did. My duties to the Constitution of the United States. He's justifying him being a rat. Let me go back. He's a rat.
I know I did my duty under the Constitution of the United States, but the president and I sat down in the days that followed that. We spoke about it, talked through it. We parted amicably.
Mike Pence, who you'll be seeing in your neck of the woods in a Ford driving through, give him a honk, Mike.
There you go. Why are you saying this, Jesse? Why are you saying this? Why are you saying this, Jesse? Jesse Waters. Why? I don't even like you, but gosh darn it, why? Bringing Mike Pence on, speaking to him like this. He might be driving through your neck of the woods. Give him a honk. This is Mike Pence. The one that I was roasting and conservatives say, Jermaine, he's a Christian, Jermaine. Remember that Christian talk? I don't hear that Christian talk anymore. That's all I heard when I was roasting him. Jermaine, he's a Christian, Jermaine. He gets on his knees faster than any whore I know, Jermaine. Jermaine, he's a Christian. He prays every night, Jermaine. Matter of fact, maybe 2 or 3 times, Jermaine. He loves our Lord, Jermaine. He knows the Lord's Prayer, Jermaine. He knows the Lord's Prayer. Right? Man was a fraud. Man was a friggin' fraud. Which blows my mind. It really does. Blows my mind. But ladies and gentlemen, that's what it is. That's what it is. So I want to thank everybody and their mama's mama for hanging out with us. Absolutely. I want to thank everybody and their mama's mama. Everybody for coming out and hanging out with us. We shall be on. Yeah, see, let me go back. He doesn't have, you don't see the fly there. Somebody said the fly. Yeah, y'all remember he used to, there was a fly buzzing around his head? When was that? During the, it wasn't the inauguration. It was, no, it wasn't during the inauguration. Was it during the State of the Union? The fly was buzzing around his gosh darn head. I think the fly was buzzing around. Yeah, was it the State of the Union? I think so. No, but he doesn't have a fly buzzing there. Once everybody saw that fly, they knew he was a traitor. There was something wrong with him. It was weird, too, the way that fly was on his head like that. It was just weird. The fly was telling us something. Certainly was. So I'll be on tomorrow with our good friend Anthony Allen. giving you guys a good word. As you guys know, 7 p.m. Central, we going to be flaming pretty hard for 2 hours. So you guys make sure you guys come and hang out with us. I want to thank everybody and their mama's mama for donating and for hitting that like button and sharing. I really do appreciate it. We have a lot of censorship going on, and it really helps when people hit that like button and share. It really does. So I want to thank everybody for coming out here and hanging out with us. I'll be on once more again tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central, giving you guys a good word. So make sure you guys come and hang out with us, all right? Absolutely. So without further ado, you guys take care. Have a very good night. And I'll catch you guys here tomorrow with another edition of Conservative Nation. You guys take care. Love ya and goodbye.